Every quality woman I've ever talked to has confessed, even if they make $10 million a year, even if they're like captains of industry, have confessed to me that they would give it all up if they could only find a real man that they could look up to. My colleague, David DeAngelo, came up with a very, very interesting adage or credo, for lack of a better word, and it's called attraction isn't a choice. Now, I can't claim credit for that. Credit where credit's due, David DeAngelo. And that is one of the greatest epiphanies, even for me, when he came up with this roughly 20 years ago, was a game changer for me, because I really didn't understand that women are hardwired to respond to masculinity. The biggest secret of all times in success with women, or lack thereof, is you'll never figure it out. Women want a man. The ones who don't are not quality women. You might as well leave them, skip over them. You don't want those women in your life. The one that don't want a man, the one that want a little cuck soy boy that they can manipulate, a so-called pussy whippable motherfucker, those women I would give a wide berth. I would not have them in my life. I will not have those kind of women in my life because they're not women. They're only an outer shell of a woman. But of course, these same feminists are then attracted to, wait a minute, let me get this straight. Islam? Really? Seriously? That's what you're going to go with? Islam? If you're a feminist, you're screaming Allahu Akbar, you're baring your breasts, good luck trying that in Saudi Arabia. You'd be stoned to death in about 5 minutes. Why would women in the West choose men from other cultures, men that treat them poorly, treat them like the medieval times? Why would they do that? Could it be desperation? Could it be that they don't find a man who's man enough to tell them what to do? Every quality woman I've ever talked to has confessed, even if they make $10 million a year, even if they're like captains of industry, have confessed to me that they would give it all up if they could only find a real man that they could look up to. And they're looking high and low, near or far, in vain for such a man. Nobody will step up to the plate. There are no men. Where have all the men gone? 30, 40 years ago, they said, we need new men. We need a new kind of masculinity. They're still telling you the same crap. But we can see what happens. Men have gone. Where have all the men gone? Well, that original song, Where Have All the Men Gone, is referring to the war. My dad was German. I've lived in Germany for 9 years. It was the worst 10 years of my life, 9.5 years roughly. Worst decade of my life. My dad was born in 1923. He fought on the wrong side of the war. He fought on the German side of the war. He changed his views after the war very quickly, but of his generation, he was born in 1923. He was 17 when the war started. 90% of his particular year were gone. They died in the war. 90%. That's a different type of decimation than even the Romans did. 90% of those born in Germany in 1923 died in the war, the men. Not the women, but the men. Which brings me to another thing. The myth of male power. We hear day and night about toxic masculinity. We need new masculinity. Now the rise of the beta male. Be careful what you wish for. The rise of the beta male? Now, naturally only about 1%, maybe 5% of men are actual alphas. It's a very specific mindset. Not everybody's born to be an alpha. You can choose to be one, but it's friggin' hard work. And you have to have the political will and the resolve and the commitment to be that man. Most men are very happy to walk after they're behind their wives. You see this all the time. You see the woman walking. I'm a woman. I'm a modern, empowered woman. You see the guy? Yeah, well, I'm just a cash machine that's friggin' financing this bitch. And then you see the children, the guys kind of like soy boys. I don't know why I'm here. Do we really need to go on this vacation? The girl's like, let's check out some guys. That dad is an idiot. He's just good enough to finance my tastes, my toys. Toxic masculinity, that is toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is not a strong alpha male who knows his purpose and his mission in life. Toxic masculinity is the soy boy, the wannabe, the sweet little nice guy cuck who doesn't know he even has balls, and probably doesn't, with an average testosterone level around serum, about 234. Now, a 75-year-old male, if he's healthy, should have a higher testosterone level than 234. Mine is in the 4 digits. I go work out. I may not look that big, but I do go work out. It raises your testosterone. I do manly things. I eat meat. I don't eat soy latte. I don't roast s'mores at a campfire. I may not be the world's most macho guy, but I can hold my own. I can handle myself. I got resolve like a badger. There's way bigger guys than me. Good luck taking me down. I know who I am. I have a purpose. And if somebody attacks me, I got a reason to defend myself. Nobody stands between me and going home tonight to my wife, whom I love, who I need to protect. If somebody wants to challenge me on that, I will do whatever it takes to take them down, take them out, and kill them if need be. I'm not in it to win a fight. I'm in there to end it by any and all means necessary, and at any and all cost to them, not to me. That's what a man does. He defends his own. He defends his family, he defends his country, his culture. Now, I mentioned The Myth of Male Power. It's a book, I'm thinking mid-90s, by one Dr. Warren Farrell. What I like about Donald Trump, he cuts right through the bullshit. He cuts right through the issues. Somebody needs to take charge. Somebody needs to lead this country. Somebody needs to rescue civilization. Leave it to women. They'll be living in mud huts in about a year or two.